G'day guys, it is Cracker Freddy and I'm back playing some Armoured Kill for Battlefield 3 on tank superiority. I didn't actually mean to get this gameplay. In actual fact, what I was trying to do was drop into a rush game, get on the defensive side, and deliberately kind of get my ass kicked. Not through not trying, just basically I wanted to get a clip to show those people who haven't yet seen it and have been asking really if defense when you're playing rush is that hard. So I set out to join a rush game, get on the defensive side, play the best I could play, and hopefully get my ass kicked, which is a bizarre thing I understand to want. But there you go, that's what I was doing. Anyway, I dropped into a rush game. It was on the attacking side, and it was nearly over. We did lose, but it wasn't even worth watching. Next game was tank superiority again. Now, I wasn't overly excited. I almost dropped out, but I realised that there wasn't javelin spamming going on. Everyone wasn't just sitting up on the hill with javelins. There was a few, of course, which you'll see later in the clip. I had wonderful pleasure in shooting them standing on the hill with their javelins. Here's this one guy here. I decided to get out somehow, didn't get a single hit marker. Don't know how that happened. Terrible shooting, I know, but surely I earned one. Anyway, yeah, so basically I decided to keep going on with this, and it was actually really fun. Even though I'm relatively terrible. I mean, I'm not... Yeah, I'm pretty bad at vehicles. I've never really worried about it. I'm always been a lot happier with a gun in my hand. I'm more of an infantry kind of guy. I do prefer running around with a gun, getting tactical flanking, blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm unlocking a lot of things in those tanks, and a lot of achievements and stuff like that, simply because I've never really spent a lot of time in tanks, and when I do, someone else tends to be driving and I'll sit in the top gun and try and get some kills. But this actually was a really enjoyable game. Everyone was, well, the majority of people were doing the right thing. They were all jumping in tanks. It was tank v tank. We were trying to capture the flag, and it was actually, I had a really good time. I had a lot of fun doing it. Okay, so moving on from this actual gameplay, the next thing I want to discuss is basically how I think Armoured Kill is going so far on the PlayStation. I can only talk about the PlayStation because that's the only system I have it on. But, yeah, I just want to discuss how I think it's going so far. And I noticed when I logged in last night to grab this gameplay that the amount of servers running Armoured Kill has already diminished a hell of a lot, to be honest. I used to have a couple of pages worth of servers when I was browsing through the servers, and now all of a sudden I have the odd few. Well, I mean, I have a few, but a lot of people are going back to the old Metro and the old B2K, that sort of thing. And I just thought it was interesting to note. And then when I tried to search for rush games, there was even less. A lot of people are sort of... There are still a few tank superiority games floating around. And look at that. How bullshit is that? How did I... Seriously, how did that not hit him? The smoke now is a shield for the tank. Yeah, anyway, I blew him up. But yeah, I just noticed in the servers that there actually wasn't that many around playing Armoured Kill, which I think is really disappointing. The maps are fantastic. They just have a few issues with size, which I've discussed before, and obviously rush is a bit hard on defense. But yeah, I just think it's disappointing because obviously a lot of time and effort have gone into making these maps, making them look really good. You know, trying to do the right thing. I think they tried something different, completely opposite of close quarters, which obviously was just all about running and gunning in small buildings and that sort of thing. So this is the polar opposite. They've given you all the vehicle play, the huge map, stuff like that, and I can kind of see what they're doing. They're doing a good thing. They started out with Back to Karkin, which is a good mixture of combat as well as vehicles and large maps, but not too large, that sort of thing. And I think that was a great pack. They then focus more so on the close quarters combat to cater for those people. They've now moved on to Armoured Kill to cater for people who want to do the vehicles and the huge maps and that sort of thing. So I think that's great. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but I don't think Armoured Kill or close quarters was meant to appeal to everybody. It was... I think they are specifically aiming to please a particular type of person. And I think that's really great. I think that's really great. And the next downloadable content that's going to be coming out will likely be, well, I think from what I've read, it's going to be a mixture again. It's going to sort of go back to the Back to Karkin, a mixture of close and vehicle combat. I don't know how it'll work. I don't know if there'll be individual maps, some huge, some small. I don't know. But yeah, I think DICE are doing a really good thing. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was I have been reading on Twitter today that EA has started going around and flagging Battlefield videos for copyright content. And I don't know if it's true. It actually hasn't happened to me yet, so I don't want to say too much. But if they are, it's kind of a dick move. They're sort of taking away from a lot of people that are starting up. I mean, I also read that if you're already a Machinima partner or you know, something like that, then it doesn't apply to you. It's not going to happen to you. But if you're not, like myself, I'm not partnered. Does that mean that every time I post a Battlefield gameplay, it's going to flag as copyright material? And if that's the case, you know, is that going to make it really difficult for new people sort of coming through? I don't think whoever made that decision in the marketing area, or wouldn't have been in the marketing area, whoever made that decision at EA, I'm not sure that they entirely understand the value of YouTube. I mean, look what it did for Call of Duty in the Call of Duty community. It made that huge. It's now gone on to Battlefield, and you know, the amount of support and everything that's been drummed up for Battlefield, surely they can see that the reason why Battlefield 3 has been so successful on a commercial scale compared to perhaps Battlefields before it is that you know, there's a real YouTube community here. There's not that many communities for that many games, and Battlefield are lucky enough to have one. And you know, maybe a slight oversight there, and I know this isn't DICE's fault, and maybe DICE is particularly pissed about it, I don't know. But you would think EA would be able to see the value in YouTube, see the value in people making these videos, promoting their game. But instead it sounds like someone's had a bitch fit, decided that they're not happy because they're missing out on, well, not even that they're missing out on revenue, but other people are making money based off a product that they own. They didn't create it, but they do own it. And I think, yeah, I think someone's getting greedy, and it could potentially have pretty dire consequences. If people stop posting videos of Battlefield 3, then support for it is going to drop. There's just no way around that. And I think that'd be a real shame. And it'll be things like Battlefield 4 or Bad Company 3, whatever it is that's coming out next. I think Bad Company 3 is meant to be the next one. But whatever it is that comes out, it could have pretty dire consequences on that. Not to mention their Medal of Honor game, which I'm already a little uncertain as to how that's going to go. I think it's going to be, you know, a lot like Call of Duty with a splash of Battlefield in it. But anyway, yeah, just something to think about, and I might talk about this later on in another video. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do feel free to check out my channel. I have other Battlefield videos there, and hit subscribe if you want to see future ones. And that's me.